The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh, it's live, pal.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Everybody three count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife.
You're too damn selfish, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
3 ain't enough now. I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
Oh my goodness, what do we do? There's a 1. There's a 2. Oh!
Wow.
Well, you can take that brass ring and shove it up your ass.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday. We are live here on Facebook.com/3 Count Thursday. It is Thursday, November the 19th. We are still the podcast of the millennium. We have tons to talk about this week, including a second reign, a Thanksgiving tradition, and a Legends farewell. But first, make sure you head to 3countthursday.com. That's where you can find everything 3 Count related. All of our social media links are merchandise over at whatamaneuver.net.
What a maneuver.
Thank you, Tim. We also, you can use our collar and elbow brand deal. If you go to store.collarandelbowbrand.com, use promo code 3count, you get 10% off each and every order. We have our Patreon page. Our home network, of course, is NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We also stream daily at leebsports.com. Ryan, that would be?
LEEIB sports.com.
Absolutely. Yeah. Scotty, Devin, Charlie, and others who are joining us live. We appreciate that. Yeah, there's this kind of breaking thing on the Twitter. Some accusations from a former employee of AEW towards Cody and company. I haven't had a chance to read them all, but if these stories and allegations are true, it is not pretty, and unfortunately, it means the wrestling business is the wrestling business. It's dirty. It's a sleazy business. Hopefully that these things are not true. I honestly do not want them to be true. But that's all I'm going to say about them. I'm sure you can find the stuff on Twitter somewhere. I want to have a chance to read it and wait till everything comes out. I think that's the best way to handle things. But let's go around the room. Ryan.
Jim.
Sorry, the computer locked up there for a second.
That's going to happen. You hate to see it. I'm fine.
Good. Tim.
How you doing?
So in case you guys aren't a part of the 3 Count Thursday mailing list, I want to make it formally known that I'm actually going to be doing a limited run on Cameo for $1,000 video. But we're only doing 3 because it's 3 Count Thursday. So $1,000 for a cameo from me, courtesy of 3 Count Thursday. I just wanted everyone to know we got express consent from all of the promotions that we work with to do this. Just wanted to make sure it was above board. I know there's other podcasts that try to do stuff on Cameo, and they're one reason or another they're not allowed to. But being the podcast of the millennium does provide certain rights, and that's why we're able to do what we're going to offer on Cameo. We are a pod cameo-assed.
That we are. Matt.
How you doing?
He was muted.
Was never unmuted.
Sorry.
It sucks, doesn't it? It's the worst.
I typically just unmute myself. I just wasn't paying attention.
Because you're an adult, you know how technology works.
Right. I'm not blaming Jim or anything.
You
for that.
should
That
blame
was-
Jim. He's the host.
I got a lot of things going on. I'm making sure posts get out so people can actually tune in and watch. More people get the views up on these things.
Well, I'm
Doing
good.
what I can. Sorry, Matt. Ryan rudely interrupted you.
I know. He ruins everything. Sorry.
But how you doing?
I was doing well until Ryan just killed the mood.
You know what? I hope you're playing. You know what? I won't even say it.
Don't say that. Don't say that. And intern Mark.
How you doing?
Jim Ryan, I'm doing real well. Real well.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, boys. I'm ready for some Thanksgiving.
I am. Yeah, 1 week from tonight. So we will not be live next week, but we will have new content up. We are going to get something in the can. We will set it to premiere next Thursday night, probably at this 8:00 start time. So that you've already had your dinner, you've already had second dinner, you've already had 3 sets of desserts, and if you're still if your eyes are still open next Thursday night, you can tune in with the premiere. I'll probably try to jump on.
I mean, the Cowboys game ain't gonna be worth a damn this year. So just watch us.
No, it's not. Well, and that's always at 4:25. So that game will be over at about 4:27. Yes, Ryan.
I think the podcast that we're set to premiere next week would be great listening while you're doing the dishes.
That would work as well, because they got to get done at some point. So you might as well get them done. Scotty asked, what about our Twitch account? I think there's still legal tape with the Twitch account, right? Where we can't legally speak about that.
We just have to use our shoot names.
Yeah. That's what it is. So we will have content next week, but it will not be a live show. We will be live again in 2 weeks from now. Let's kick this thing off, though, of course, with our weekly segment. We're looking at November 19th in wrestling history. We have 2 birthdays. Ted Turner's birthday. I forgot to write down what year because this wasn't actually on the site. If somebody wants
1492.
Perfect. And Miss Elizabeth was born today in 1960. Then we go back to 1991. WCW Clash of Champions 17 took place from the Savannah Civic Center in Savannah, Georgia, in front of 6,922 fans. Show featured 9 matches, was main evented with Lex Luger defeating Rick Steiner to retain the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. In 1994, a tournament was held to determine a new NWA World Heavyweight Champion in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The previous champion, Shane Douglas, had thrown down the belt after his tournament win to become the first ECW World Heavyweight Champion that turned Eastern Championship Wrestling into Extreme Championship Wrestling. Chris Candido defeated Tracy Smothers in the finals to become the new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. In 1995, WWF Survivor Series took place from the U.S. Air Arena in Landover, Maryland, in front of 14,500 fans. The show featured a dark match, 6 main card matches, and was main evented by Bret Hart defeating Diesel in a no DQ match for the Hitman's 3rd championship victory, and apparently, possibly the Boar's favorite match. I learned that on Twitter tonight.
It's a banger.
This is one I got to go back and watch because I don't necessarily remember this one standing out, but I will head back and check that one out. In 2000, WWF Survivor Series took place from the Ice Palace in Tampa, Florida, in front of 18,602 fans. Show featured 9 matches and was headlined by Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H in a no DQ match ending in a no contest. Yep. No DQ match ended in a no contest. So those sort of things still happened 20 years ago, folks. And then finally, in 2017, WWE Survivor Series took place in the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, in front of 14,478 fans. The theme of the event was brand supremacy. Every match on the main card involved wrestlers from Raw facing wrestlers from SmackDown. The show featured 3 pre-show matches, 7 main show matches, and was main evented by Team Raw, which was Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Triple H, defeating Team SmackDown, which was Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and John Cena. If Team Raw would have lost, Kurt Angle would have been fired as Raw General Manager.
So there's a funny stat about that SmackDown team.
Yeah?
Randy Orton was the youngest person on that team.
He's younger than Bob Roode?
Yes.
No shit.
Randy Orton was the youngest person on the team.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Yeah,
wrong. That is the whole wrong side of 30 squad right there.
I was gonna say that's team wrong side of 30 right there.
Yes, sir.
They just went for it. Now Scotty said Survivor Series 2016. I don't think that was today, because I did look. I don't think that was the 19th. But those were the events that occurred on this day, November the 19th, in pro wrestling history.
Lasagna.
Lasagna. I was going to say, somebody say something about lasagna. I'm lost.
It's delicious.
I'm lost in it.
Lasagna is delicious.
Love it.
Now, does anybody do lasagna on Thanksgiving? I know some do that. I'm like, don't.
No, I'm a traditional turkey dude, but we do something around here called a skillet lasagna. It's like curly noodles, and you make it in a skillet, and it is so delicious.
Okay, I think I've had something along those lines.
Yeah, it's not like traditional noodles, meat, cream cheese, whatever.
I mean, it's
ricotta cheese.
It's for damn delicious, is what it is.
It is delicious.
No matter what you call it. I mean,
So it's like hamburger helper, pretty much.
It's like lasagna helper.
Yeah.
Lasagna helper.
Because it's not a hamburger.
You use ground beef though, right?
Yes, but that's ground beef. A hamburger is the patty.
Well, but for hamburger helper, you use ground beef. You don't.
Shh.
Okay. This.
Is there any vegetable lasagna? Yeah. No.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it. I mean,
I'm cool with zoodles.
It's definitely veggie lasagna is not my first go-to, but I do enjoy it.
What do you got against zoodles?
What are zoodles?
Like vegetable noodles instead of actual like.
Oh, I never had them.
They're so delicious.
See, I think veg lasagna still uses regular noodles.
Right.
Zoodles.
I'll have to check those out.
What are you eating?
Did you make? What about bottle cap lasagna? Is that a thing?
Fuck you, Mark.
God.
Oh. You know what?
Is that how we're going to start the podcast, Mark?
You know what? I just muted him.
I was thankful that you were having a good day. Matt gave me shit. Now you're giving me shit.
You're in a timeout. Scotty, lasagna is gross like Chick-fil-A. If I could mute a comment, I would.
Dude,
mute.
if they made Chick-fil-A
I
lasagna,
can.
I would eat it every day.
Don't do that.
I can hide it.
Oh, Charlie says we need to listen to WHW.
Have you had Chick-fil-A macaroni and cheese?
I don't like macaroni and
Shit
cheese.
It's phenomenal.
I'm
It is
not
the best mac and cheese you will ever get from a drive-thru.
What
I
kind
guarantee
of
it.
fat man are you?
My
Put him in
problem.
timeout.
Here we go. Let me explain.
Here we go.
I don't like mac and cheese because I don't like things where the main flavor is cheese. I like cheese on things, but like when I'm eating mac and cheese, it's just cheese, and I'm not one of those weirdos who can just eat cheese.
Okay, that's not fucking weird.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
first off,
if
you need
anyone's
to
in the
stop throwing word
minority-
weirdo around there, pal. Go ahead.
I'm
eating cheese
normal.
before the
That's why
podcast.
you guys brought me on the show, because
Oh,
you
no,
all
no,
are
no,
all
no.
creepy weirdos, and I'm the normal guy with pink
You
hair.
wouldn't eat mozzarella sticks.
But you dip. I don't eat them plain. I dip them in marinara. It's like a plain cheese pizza. There's sauce, and the sauce balances out the cheese. But when
Mute
you're
him.
eating just
Just mute him.
cheese,
So you would not eat like a cheese cube on
No.
like a cheese and meat tray.
No, I avoid the cheese at all costs, and I just eat the meat.
My God. Like my favorite part is when I get to shred cheese, and you get down to the part where you're gonna Moxley your hand off, so you just eat the cheese instead of grating your finger. And Charlie's with you know what? You can mute him. Scotty's on probation. No. Scotty
Triple
also
secret
asks,
probation.
Is anyone hoarding toilet paper? No, because I'm not an asshole. I buy what we buy what we need. We buy what we need, and that's all that we buy.
I'm just gonna start wiping my ass in the shower.
Well, that's what I said. Like if worse comes to worse, you know, I
5 showers a day. Let's go.
I got one of the handles that like pops off the thing. I can just you know,
Roto-Rooter my beehole.
I can bidet myself in the shower. You know, if it gets to that point, I just whatever, you know. And like, where am I going at this
Why toilet paper? I don't get this.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Like of all the things that you could hoard, yeah, that one just baffles me. Okay, so before we talk about events for this coming Sunday, and obviously the you know, coming to the end of a career of the Undertaker, Monday on Raw we saw the WWE Championship change hands back to Drew McIntyre.
Man, who'd have thought? The go home show before Survivor Series where it's champion versus champion. They flip a title. It's not like they've never done that before.
Tim, I'm picking up your sarcasm. But yeah, like I saw a lot of people go, well, why did they even change it? You know, have Randy win it to begin with, and this and that. I'm like, well, first off, I think I am starting to buy into the theory that they're padding Randy Orton's stat so you can get a 16-time versus 16-time main event with John Cena at some point to see who gets to 17 first.
Don't forget Rick.
WrestleMania.
Do not forget Rick. It's a triple threat
We're
match.
gonna let him go one more round. If Devin brings up a great point, I could always use the blood and guts T-shirt as toilet paper. Absolutely.
It's already full of shit. What are you talking about?
That would definitely serve it better than like just wearing it. I have no issue with them flipping the title back. You know, I think it sets up a better match at Survivor Series. Yeah, I have no issues with it. I saw some people just, you know, well, they should have never had Randy win to begin with. It's a title. Ryan,
it's a prop, not a big deal. You could also use a Miami Dolphins T-shirt, Jim.
You could, absolutely. That's actually worse than the blood and guts T-shirt. Any other thoughts on the Tim? What we eating there?
The last portions of a chicken and rice bake.
Ooh,
I'm gonna eat.
I was gonna say bowl of mayonnaise, but
nah.
Okay,
That would probably taste better with some cheese on it.
It would.
There's cheese on top that melts. It's melted. I like cheese on things. I just don't like when cheese is the thing.
Weird.
Yo, I'd like a cheeseburger, please. Hold the slice of cheese and
I like cheese on the burger because there's a mixture of the tastes.
So you don't like grilled cheese sandwiches, though?
There's butter. I taste it.
So would you eat
I love
a
toasted
cube
bread.
of cheese and a cube of butter just at the same time?
Yes.
And cheese and a cube of butter. Are you a monster? What are you talking about? Get this guy out of here.
Have you never been to the Pennsylvania Farm Show? That's like the main course.
Yeah, fried butter.
Sure.
Which I actually wouldn't be shocked if they had that there.
Butter cubes.
But yeah, butter cubes. Just,
yuck.
Isn't that what they used to call you at high school, Ryan? Butter cubes?
Butter cubes. You guys called me that in the back room at the old job.
Butter cubes.
Oh, Mark popped himself.
What is this damn Chuckle Hut? We're here doing a podcast, boys.
Oh, boy.
So Ryan brought up mayonnaise in the post Thanksgiving leftovers. Are you mayonnaise, Miracle Whip, or something else? Ryan.
I am cranberry sauce.
Ooh, Tim.
Miracle Whip.
There you go. You're back with me. I'll take all your plain cheese. You're back with me, Matt.
No, it's all Hellman's real mayo.
No.
No.
Intern Mark, come on, do the right thing.
Well, I hate to disappoint everybody, but I wouldn't eat mayonnaise or Miracle Whip at gunpoint. I'm not.
That's
What?
fine.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now hold on though,
Go ahead.
because you get the raw subs. You get those dry.
No, I get it with oil and vinegar.
Ah,
Always oil and vinegar.
because that's
Never
one of my
get it with
favorite.
mayo.
That's one
That's
of
a
my
good
favorite
call there,
parts.
Jim.
Is they have Miracle Whip, and that makes their tuna salad so fucking delicious. Tim,
Who has had Japanese mayonnaise?
is that like the sriracha mayonnaise?
No. It's
No, what is Japanese mayonnaise?
It tastes like better mayonnaise.
Huh.
It's in like a smaller, like soft squeezy tube. You can get it at like Asian markets. But they're like, oh, it's so good, dude. Like once you have that, you never go back to regular mayonnaise.
You get that at like regular grocery stores?
I think you might be able to at certain locations in like all right, I'm using this phrase very loosely, but like the ethnic food aisle or the international foods, international food aisle.
Okay.
At
Yeah.
Stouffer's, it'd be like along that weird dark back wall.
Yes. Yeah.
They've got like the really hot salsas there.
Yeah, like Stouffer's has all the aisles, and then they have the back wall that's generally their international foods are back there.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, if the choice was just mayonnaise or Miracle Whip, mayonnaise every day.
That doesn't surprise me one bit with you. Okay, let's go on to this one. This was a post that I had seen from the WWE on Fox account. It was the top 5 rivals of the Undertaker, but I'm not going to run through a top 5 here, but I think going around the room, since Sunday is basically a celebration of the Undertaker's career, and discuss who is the Undertaker's sorry, Scotty says a great sandwich is banana and mayonnaise.
That's 2 strikes tonight. He said Chick-fil-A is garbage, and now he is making a sandwich that would make Elvis Presley die on the toilet again.
Like they'd somehow revive him and then he'd die again.
Yeah.
What a shame. What was his? Wasn't his like
peanut butter and banana? Peanut butter and banana,
Yeah.
and I think he did
grilled,
deep fried.
I think there was bacon in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they deep fried the sandwich. If I'm correct, I mean that.
There's a reason they called him the king.
Yeah,
That's why he's the king.
That's pretty good.
They served that one time, Jim, up at Kutztown. I don't know if you ever remember that.
I don't remember.
But over at like the dining hall that was over by the the classes.
What? Then 7 people got sent to the health.
That's exactly what happened.
Public health or whatever it was. All right.
It was not enough gravy.
Yeah, good. But let's go around. Let's discuss who the Undertaker's greatest rival was, and is there anybody that wants to kick it off with a nomination? Anyone?
I will.
Okay.
Euler, Tim, go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Tim.
I think that if you look at the annals of history and the Undertaker, the number 1 rival of the Undertaker will probably be Mankind.
Okay.
He was the first person that wasn't like Yokozuna, for being a big person,
Yokozuna?
He needed at least like 7 other people to help him beat the Undertaker. So Mankind did it by himself. He got Paul Bear to turn.
Mm-hmm.
The rivalry was so good that it was dead for almost 2 years, and they put it in a Hell in a Cell. as just a throwaway, and they captured Magic in a Bottle again. Like, no one had challenged The Undertaker the way Mankind had to that point.
Okay, that's definitely a strong one. Definitely a strong one. Mark, I think you had one.
Well, I think longevity and storyline, and I don't think it wasn't one of my favorites, but I'd say Kane and The Undertaker, for as much as they got out of that
Yeah,
for
and
years and years, and the way they broke off, came back together.
And if you have not watched the Brothers of Destruction, storytellers or document, however they describe it, the documentary that released this week, do yourself a favor. It was really good. Less than that thing could have been twice as long.
That's my only problem with it.
It was too short.
It was
I
like
clicked on it,
40 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 46 minutes. I'm like, why is this so fucking short?
Hello. We watch 9 hours of WrestleMania. Why can't you give us effing 90 minutes?
We watch fucking 7 hours of wrestling every week.
Just donate more money to Knox
hours.
County.
We just got 5 hours of an Undertaker pay-per-view. They were probably like, our documentary, they were probably like, we don't want this to be overkill, but it could have been.
I mean,
with it.
I mean, it's the WWE network. Everything should be overkill on that thing as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, great documentary and definitely a great rival nomination. Ryan or Matt, who wants to go?
I mean, my answer is obvious. It's Shawn Michaels.
Solid.
I was trying to get in before Matt said Shawn Michaels because I think that's a great choice. I mean, they're so different athletes and what they've done. That's a great choice. I will say one that I didn't see many people saying, just to be different. I'm going to say Vince McMahon.
Like on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had the corporation versus the ministry, and there was different layers to that as well. And Charlie, I agree as well. The Paul Bear documentary I thought could have been longer as well. The Mortician, I thought that was that was a little too short, but all good ones. I think a little bit later in the Undertaker's career, I think Randy Orton was a great rival. Like, I'm not my number one, like if the first one that probably came into my head was Kane. But I mean, all of the ones you guys gave before, I'm throwing out a couple other ones since the list had been a top 5.
There's one. A lot, yeah. There's one still on the board that is.
And are we talking later in his career, right?
Yeah.
Batista?
No.
Edge?
Yes.
Brock.
Edge was up there. Brock. See, Brock, it came to my mind. They didn't have a lot of work, but obviously the fact that he ended the streak, puts him right up there.
I mean, the heyday of our high school years was Undertaker Stone Cold. It was a huge rivalry. That really got me invested. I think it was sophomore year.
I mean,
yeah, something like that.
Not to but that whole storyline where Undertaker tries to have the unholy wedding with Stephanie, and Stone Cold is the only person who would help Vince McMahon, only for 2 weeks later for Vince McMahon to announce himself as the higher power.
Triple H is another
insane.
And I mean, a lot
Triple
of people
H definitely belongs on that list.
A lot of people look at the matches at what was it, 27 and 28, but you go back to 17.
Yep.
That was a great match as well. So they had a long told feud.
I'm trying to think who else.
It was Prince Albert.
Ooh.
That was a good one. The Big Show.
Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones.
Yeah.
The Executioner. Don't forget the Executioner.
Oh, that was tied in with Mankind, though.
Yeah.
The Executioner.
It was. That was.
Yeah.
You had to be quick to catch the Executioner.
Yeah. Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
I mean,
if you're newer into wrestling, maybe like 5-10 years, CM Punk might be up there just from the disrespect that he provided with the urn and everything going into 29.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a shorter feud, but it was.
But he had other feuds too.
A great match.
he had a feud on SmackDown with him years prior.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I think that was a little bit from my time away from wrestling. Another one, Diesel was one that for a little while back around like the WrestleMania 12-ish time. Not a long feud. Definitely wouldn't be, I don't think, at the top of anybody's list. But...
However, going back, because we had just recently on my other show, I'll plug it later. We watched the In Your House that you were at, Seasons Beatings.
Yes.
That's where that feud starts.
Yes.
And I didn't recall that until I went back and watched it. I always thought that Diesel and Undertaker was just like a thrown together match for WrestleMania. And it goes back to December.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a 4-month thing
because it had some heat.
You know, it was at the Rumble then where Diesel was trying to get the belt back. Undertaker came up through the ring. And then I think Undertaker they delivered the coffin that had the model of Diesel inside the coffin like that. You know, that was a fun little 4-month feud there. And and I thought that match at WrestleMania 12 was a really good one between the two. Charlie said he likes his feud with the Hardys that led up to the ladder match with Jeff on Monday Night Raw.
That match will probably always go in like my top 5 Undertaker matches of all time. Undertaker Jeff Hardy ladder match on Raw. The storytelling at the end where or even going into the match where like Undertaker's like, I'm going to beat you until you can't stand. And Jeff's like, I'm going to keep getting up. And then he finally like, I'm still standing, and Taker gives him the sign of approval. And then Jeff goes away and all of it's squandered.
On the contrast, who, and I didn't even think of this until, who is the Undertaker's worst?
Bray Wyatt.
Giant Gonzalez.
That's a strong one, Mark. That's a strong one. That WrestleMania match is, and I know Ryan loves this phrase, the drizzling shits.
Running. Full 100-yard dash runs.
100-meter X-Lax. My vote will always be Giant Gonzalez.
He
I
has
say
had
Maven too. Good call.
I actually liked Maven. I like Maven stuff.
Yeah.
No, Charlie has the
I
Warrior.
like Maven, but I don't think that went anywhere.
I disqualify the Warrior one because it gave us the great funeral parlor where he put the Warrior in the casket, and they're trying to break open the casket. And they open it up, and you see like it all ripped apart. As a kid, that freaked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Something.
So Mabel's a good one.
Yeah, that was really good.
Mabel's a good one. I mean, Great Khali was not very good.
Yeah.
The Big Show. Anything with Big Show is not good.
You literally just put A-Train and the Big Show in the good side.
I think he was just naming.
Oh, you were just naming stuff. Okay.
I was just naming stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Evan says Mabel. Charlie has Mabel on his as well. Just because, like, I've gone back because visually I love WrestleMania 9, but like I said, that's a pretty bad WrestleMania.
What was the build up to King Kong Bundy? Because I don't recall that match being great.
It was
that was WrestleMania 13, right?
11.
Oh yeah, 13 he won the title.
So WrestleMania 11 was 1995.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was like the start of his feud, or like he was feuding with the $1 Million Corporation for like a good part of 95,
Right.
which ties into Kama stealing Undertaker's urn and melting it down into the chain.
Yep.
But like Taker in 95 was wrestling like IRS, Bundy, Kama, and then you get Mabel at, I think that's Was that SummerSlam? No, because 95 SummerSlam.
Was it King of the Ring?
Was it King? No, he won King of the Ring.
No, because Mabel became king. I think it was SummerSlam.
No, SummerSlam he wrestled Diesel. Because the winner of the King of the Ring always fought the champion.
That's right. When it meant something.
When it meant something.
Yeah, I don't know. Without looking it up.
Unless when did we get the sweet Phantom of the Undertaker? Mabel.
That was. Yeah, I don't remember.
Mabel.
What was it? Was during the Mabel feud, so it would have been before. It would have been before.
Wow, Mabel versus Undertaker.
That would have been in '95.
King of the Ring.
Yeah, that would have been '95 because I think he had the mask at that, the December in Your House in Hershey. I believe he still had the mask on at that point.
Right.
His match with John Cena was not that great either.
Which one?
No, awful.
The most recent.
The WrestleMania.
The angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the where it's like well I think we riffed on that one because John Cena's going out every week going like, I wish I could get to WrestleMania, guys, and like it was just like come on.
But I loved it. I loved it.
I thought it was cheesy as fuck.
He was sitting in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're all just old, bitter internet wrestling fans, and we can't suspend our disbelief. But we watch those fucking comic book movies and eat that shit up with a fucking spoon.
Well, in the comic book movies, we at least have like good actors, and I'm not saying Cena's not because I do enjoy
just
him.
because your boy Jimmy Uso wasn't in that feud doesn't mean that you got to throw shade at.
Undertaker made me believe he was a walking zombie for 30 years. Two of the best actors to ever do it, John Cena and Undertaker.
The build up to that was just over the top campy. Like
I loved it. Cena doing everything he could to get the Undertaker to appear before WrestleMania, and like, all right, the Raw before WrestleMania. He goes,
shucks.
Well, he's not here. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there as a fan.
The same sad like. Sorry, guys. I tried, guys. I'm doing my best.
I tried to get on WrestleMania, guys.
Look.
You know who didn't have to do that? 2 years prior? Shane McMahon.
Who?
Shane.
Best in the world. Shane McMahon.
That's right.
But in reality, that wasn't a great match either.
No. I mean, kudos.
Oh, really?
It's safe again.
Yeah, exactly. And tonight, recount. Biden still won in Georgia. So.
Oh, it's recount Thursday.
Yeah, it's our gimmick. Stop it.
But yeah, I will vote. I will always put Giant Gonzalez as my least favorite Undertaker.
While we were bullshitting, I put up his like WrestleMania opponents. They're not all great at all.
I think I could go top to bottom.
I was gonna.
You want to try?
Yeah, I do. I do.
All right, let's go.
All right, so he starts off Jimmy Superfly Snuka at 7, Jake the Snake at 8.
Kobe.
9 is Giant Gonzalez.
Kobe.
He's out at 10. He's got 11 is King Kong Bundy.
Kobe.
12 is Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Kobe.
13 is Psycho Sid Vicious.
Kobe.
He's off at 14. No, he's got Kane at 14. He's got Big Boss Man in Hell in a Cell at 15.
Which time out.
Yeah.
There's that great meme where he's wearing the back the blue in the Last Ride documentary, and then he hangs Big Boss Man at WrestleMania.
He hung the
15.
Boss Man. I remember watching that. That was
You only
ridiculous.
back.
He
You only
hung a
back the
guy.
current blue, not
He
the
hung
former.
a guy at WrestleMania.
He hung a cop.
He hung a cop at WrestleMania. Okay, time back
He-
in.
he
Okay.
did.
He's off at 2000. 2001 is 17. 17 is Triple H. 18 is Ric Flair. 19 is a handicap match with the Big Show and the A Train. 20 is Kane. 21 is Randy Orton. 22 is Mark Henry. 23 is Batista. 24 Orlando. That's Edge.
Sure is.
25, 26 Sean.
Yep.
27, 28 Triple H.
Sure is.
29 CM Punk. 30 Brock Lesnar. 31 Bray Wyatt.
That's correct.
Okay. This is where it starts to get kind of tough because like he's only around.
No, I got these.
All right.
ones.
So
I would've
30,
lost in
31 is Bray Wyatt.
Correct.
32.
Dallas.
That is no. It is Shane in the Hell in a Cell. Mm.
I hit the music.
Okay, so 33. That's John.
Yeah.
John Cena.
I
No.
know.
Who does he have at 33? Oh, that's right. It's the Ooh-Ah Man. It's where he's supposed to retire. And then 34 is
John Cena.
John Cena. 35 is AJ Styles.
No, 35 was nothing.
What?
Or I'm sorry, 36 was Styles.
36 was Styles.
Oh, that's right.
It's 35. He did the Saudi show instead of WrestleMania.
That's right. I got the
Yeah,
hard ones done.
Yeah, I would have gotten
Yeah,
lost in like the Mark Henry Batista years because those were in the years where
Some
I wasn't
of his
actively watching
best
wrestling.
work.
Yeah, during
Mark
WrestleMania,
Henry Undertaker at WrestleMania is dope. Casket match, awesome.
I had gone back and watched. I think it was the Batista match
That was good.
that I think
Real
you had
good.
recommended me go watch, and that thing was a fucking banger.
It had no reason to
could've
be
closed
so
the show.
good. It
Yeah,
had
it
no
was-
reason.
No,
Yeah,
that could have been the main event. It was.
Yeah, that was
so
a
good.
real good match.
What was that main event? Was that the Big Show one?
20 for which one? 23?
Yeah.
23 was John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. It was supposed to be Triple H. Triple H blew out his quad. Shawn fills in. They have the match at WrestleMania, and then they had the rematch on Raw like 2 weeks later in London.
Is that the Floyd Mayweather one?
23 is the Floyd Mayweather.
Well, okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Okay.
24 is Floyd Mayweather. Sorry. 23 is Battle of the Billionaires.
Yep,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah, got it.
Bob Lashley versus Umenga.
Umenga.
Yeah, his I love the match with him and Charlie says he thinks that the match with Triple H at 17 was better than the two. I think
I hate they whitewashed it.
The match at 27 and 28, like what made them, it was because it encapsulated the story with Shawn and the end of an era and all of that. Like it was more the story than the match.
And Triple H could cycle and
Right.
and actually get big.
Yeah. Yeah. That too. But yeah.
Allegedly.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I would have had most of the Undertaker WrestleMania opponents, but like I said, I would have lost a couple in the 20s. Now this Sunday is of course Survivor Series. We will get to the predictions of this Survivor Series after our commercial break. But before the break, now WWE on Fox posted this over the weekend, and it was one of these like build your own Survivor Series teams using $15. And there's a $5, $4, $3, $2, and $1 tier. And I'll read those off, and we'll go around and build our dream team. So the $5 tier was Stone Cold, The Rock, John Cena, and The Undertaker. $4 was HBK, Ric Flair, Randy Savage, and Triple H. $3, Eddie Guerrero, JBL, Batista, and Bret Hart. $2, Kane, Mark Henry, Big Show, Kurt Angle. And $1 was Christian, Mr. Perfect, Booker T, Mankind. Now, before we go around and start making the list, I know at least one of us has taken some issue with this. Now, keep in mind, this was not me making the list. This is WWE on Fox, so direct all anger and hate tweets at WWE on Fox, not at me. But Tim, I know you are unhappy with this. So
you just read off every single name.
I did
on this list. However, you literally removed, or not you, but WWE removed Mr. Survivor Series from the list. And maybe you don't put him on the list because it's unfair, because if I had my way, I would spend all $15 on just Randy Orton to have him be on my team. He's the only person I think to be sole survivor 2 years in a row. He has been the focal point of so many Survivor Series teams. Yeah, Randy Orton not being on that $5 tier, where John Cena, I don't think John Cena's been on more than one Survivor Series team. How many Survivor Series teams has John Cena been on?
I could never see him.
I'm curious now.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, he was on that one in 2017. We know that.
He was on one in 2003, I think.
He did not win in 2017 either. Remember, he lost. He was on the Team SmackDown.
He was on Team Angle in 2003.
Was he really on that team, or was he like captain of that team?
Well, it was Team Angle, so he wasn't the captain.
Not you, on the one Jim was talking about.
No, I thought Shane was the captain.
Because isn't that the year we went and saw SmackDown up in Wilkes-Barre?
Team Guerrero.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Right, and it was like Undertaker's.
Yeah, because he came out
and said
Taker was there for some reason.
Blue.
Like, SmackDown's always been my home, and then he has never been on
SmackDown again.
3 years later.
Okay, so he's been on more. He's been on more teams than I remember.
Okay. Has he won a lot though? Okay, so he has won a lot.
Tim, you're still not wrong though. You're absolutely right about Randy Orton.
I mean, even if you count like his singles stuff, like he was the sole survivor in 2004.
3 times.
I think he was the sole survivor in 2003.
He's a 3-time sole survivor, Ryan?
A 3-time sole survivor.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was sole survivor in 2003, and then he went like back to back in 2004. 2005. Shoot.
There's only one other superstar in WWE history to go sole survivor 3 times. He's also not on the list, and that's the Ultimate Warrior.
Wow.
I can't believe Warrior was sole survivor 3 times.
Wow.
Easier times, simpler times back then, Jim.
Wow. I guess apparently. Yeah, well, it's true because he actually had like mega stars back then. Now
simpler times.
But anyway, so those are the tiers. So let's go around. We'll go one pick at a time. We'll go around the room and just kind of build the team. So the way I approached it is I took one from each level. It didn't say you had to do that. You just had to to build the team, spend $15. But that's just how I interpret it. Maybe it's just because that makes math easier.
Can you hit the boring soundbite for yourself?
Yes, I can. Boring. I'm an idiot.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start off with the Undertaker, off of my $5 tier. Probably one because of the recency bias and the fact that we're celebrating the guy this weekend. But also the way that I set up the rest of my list. I think having a person of that size and stature fills out my team. So Matt, we'll go to your first.
Should be no surprise. First pick, Shawn Michaels.
Boring.
Wait, are we drafting or are we like?
Well, no. I'm just, instead of just me reading my 5 and then we're just reading a pick at a time. Obviously, it's not. They're not coming off the board. It just.
Yeah, there wouldn't be enough.
No. Intern Mark.
Well, I took Randy Savage for my team. Oh yeah,
very nice. I think do I have a Savage drop? I feel like I have a Savage drop. No, maybe not. I swear to God, I did. Anyway, Tim.
I feel like you have to get someone high budget. I'm going Shawn Michaels for $4.
Also, I did have a Savage drop.
He's easily worth $5, but $4 is a bargain.
Yeah, I question some of the dollar values on these as well. But Ryan.
Yeah, I spent way too much time apparently putting this together. The dollar values make absolutely no sense. Shawn Michaels is a correct pick for $4. He has 11 appearances and has eliminated 12 different superstars, making him one of the most eliminating superstars on the list. So Shawn Michaels for $4 is quite the steal.
Very nice. So I went on my $4 wing. I went with the guy out of those 4 that is most my favorite, and that is Triple H. The Triple H is from my $4 line. Matt.
I also have Triple H because you need the teamwork between Shawn and Triple H for sure.
Intern Mark.
I took, as Chris Jericho used to call him, Kirk Angel.
Very nice. Tim.
I'm gonna go with a glue guy. I'm gonna go with Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh, very nice.
For $3.
And Ryan.
I will stay on the $5 or the $4 tier, and I will go with Ric Flair, adding wisdom to my team, and a 2-time sole survivor of the Survivor Series.
Very nice. Then we go to the $3 tier. There should be no surprise on this one. Bret the Hitman Hart.
There's your dishwashing pick.
That one was pretty easy for me. I just ignored that there was anybody else on that list. Mark, there was apparently a Festivus question on Jeopardy tonight, by the way.
Really?
Apparently, that's what one of the comments says. Matt, who is your next pick?
It's a shame you ignored everyone else on the list because you could have gotten a much better value with Eddie Guerrero, $3 than Bret Hart. So that was on my list.
Ridiculous.
Intern Mark, who's your next pick?
Boy, I took Eddie Guerrero as well because Eddie broke my heart. Eddie.
Tim.
I'm going to take another person on the $3 tier, and I'm going to take the Animal Batista.
I should have seen that one coming. We've known you long enough.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Much like Tim last round and Matt and Mark this round, the correct $3 choice is Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero.
Then I go to my $2 tier, and I took Kurt Angle off of my list. I figured if you want to have a Survivor Series matches are going to go long, you got to have some guy have a guy with some endurance. So I like Kurt Angle that one. Matt.
Yeah, it's a good pick. He's on my list as well, just because of his experience.
Intern Mark.
I took the best there is, the best there was, and perhaps the best there ever will be. Bret Hart, the Hitman.
There we go. That's my guy. Tim.
I am gonna go with a person at the $2 level. He's been said a couple of times already, but Kurt Angle.
Very nice. And Ryan.
It's wild. It's wild choices there. My $2 level, if we're going to keep in the $2 range, I have $4 left to spend. My first $2 will be chosen with Kane, who has appeared in 9 Survivor Series matches. So he has the experience, much like you credit Kurt Angle for. Kane actually has the experience.
There you go. And then on my $1 tier, just because out of these 4, I always loved the gimmick above all others, Mr. Perfect, from my $1 line. Matt.
Yeah, I have $2 left, and you always need some size when you're doing your Survivor Series team, so that gives me Mark Henry, the world.
I thought you were going with the Big Show. I thought you were going Big Show.
God, no. I don't need any tears on my team.
50 cents for 50 cents for the Big Show.
Intern Mark.
I went with Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Very good. Love it. Tim.
I actually still have $3 left on mine. And I am actually going to triple dip from the $3 pool. And I am not going to be foolish and put Brett and Sean on the same team. I will, however, be foolish and put JBL on the team. You need a big bruiser.
Ridiculous.
Guy who's not afraid to get rugged and rough, but also understands teamwork. JBL, the clotheslining from Hell, fools all day. WWE Hall of Famer JBL, along with WWE Hall of Famer Batista.
Bret Hart's a 2-time Hall of Famer.
And he got tackled by some schmo. He hid behind Natalia, and then Natalia pooted.
Is that why that guy fell?
Who, Brett? Yeah. Air got real thin up there. Well, you know, I got behind her and she got nervous, and then she tooted, and I thought I was in the ring with the old Tiger Stu. He farted on me once, so he was stretching me in the not the basement, who's the
dungeon
where all the pipes were.
The basement.
Yeah. You know, we had to move the groceries, the non-perishables out of the way so we could train sometimes.
Come on.
Had to happen.
Ryan, who was your final pick?
Without Randy Orton on this on this list, and he absolutely should have been. Orton having 16 eliminations in Survivor Series matches. With my $2 selection, I will take the number 2 guy on that list with 13 eliminations, 8 Survivor Series appearances. You guys shit on him. The Big Show absolutely belongs on any team.
He's the only person to be the sole survivor and the only member of his team and win. Crazy. Granted, he beat like Kai and Ty.
Who's counting?
Yeah, I mean, you're just looking at raw stats. So
wasn't that Survivor Series 2000?
All about raw stats.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have to look that up, Tim.
I'm looking it up.
But yeah, like we were talking on the pre-show, post-show a little bit. Ryan and I were before everybody else jumped on. If you want to hear that, obviously go to patreon.com/3count Thursday. It's only $2 to get the bonus podcast here. You can give us more money as much as you want, by the way.
I was wrong.
But yeah, we were talking about some of those numbers.
Kai and Tai was actually supposed to be the Big Show's partners. He eliminated by himself the Big Boss Man, Midian, Prince Albert, and Viscera.
Well, there's Murderer's Row.
Wow, that sounds like
that's a bunch
horrible.
of tonnage.
That's that. Did they had to reinforce the ring that night?
Obviously.
My God.
That was Survivor
that's,
Series 99.
Okay. All right. 99.
Good year. I remember that.
All right.
There's two more lames real quick on the most eliminations list. Again, Orton had 16, Big Show 13, HBK had 12 eliminations. Rey Mysterio eliminated 9 people not on the list. And Braun Strowman already up to 8.
Seriously?
Yeah. Braun, didn't they do like a 6-on-6 Survivor Series once?
I think so.
Where Braun Strowman broke the record for most eliminations at 5, but lost. I feel like there was a 6-on-6 Survivor Series somewhere.
Maybe.
Gosh, I gotta look it up.
2018, maybe 2018, because it wasn't 2017, and it wasn't last year.
Was it the
Real quick, while you're looking that up, I have another stat. Most sole survivors, again, Orton with 3 and Ultimate Warrior. And then there is a grouping with 2. We said Ric Flair earlier today. Roman Reigns was the sole survivor twice. The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and this one surprised me. Dolph Ziggler, a 2-time sole survivor winner at Survivor Series.
Those had to be a while ago.
The one was when Sting came back.
Yeah. The one was when he was
against Seth.
The Authority.
I think
versus Team Cena.
Okay.
So the Braun Strowman record I'm thinking of is the Elimination Chamber, where there was 7 people, not 6.
Okay.
And he eliminated 5 people but didn't win. He lost to the Ooh-Ah Man.
Jey Uso.
But yeah, obviously, if you have any issues with the tiers, you can tweet your displeasure at WWE
Jim at Big Jim Sports.
No.
Jim made this.
I did not make this.
As you can together.
As you can see on our overlay there, it is a Fox and WWE production, not a Big Jim production.
Once again, that is at Big Jim Sports. Make sure you put
Jim,
the poop emoji in every tweet.
Were you just criticizing something that the WWE made?
We need to take a break right now. Take a break. This is bullshit.
I think Fox handles their own tweeting, so I will blame Fox because it's closer to Fox News, and we all know about Fox News.
Fair and balanced.
I will blame Fox News. I of course will not blame the WWE. But yes, let's pause here.
This thing was rigged. This whole thing was rigged. There was no Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, let's pause here for the break. Hear from our sponsor. We'll come back with our predictions for the 2020 Survivor Series and our news and rumors. Stick with us. 3 Count Thursday live.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis on all things sports. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, subscribe to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports, and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop. Welcome back, 3 Count Thursday, live here on Facebook.com/3 Count Thursday. Make sure you go to 3countthursday.com. You'll find all of our social media links, our YouTube channel, our merchandise, our Patreon, and much more. Remember, always the number 3, never the word 3. If you're a football fan, the Seahawks and Cardinals are tied at 7 at the moment. Seattle's wearing those god-awful neon green jerseys tonight that are just absolutely offensive to the eyes. So this Sunday is the annual Survivor Series pay-per-view, of course, from the WWE Thunderdome, and there's some WWE Thunderdome news coming up in the news and rumors. Earlier today, it was announced that the Thunderdome will be on the move in a couple of weeks, but we got 6 matches as of right now. I don't necessarily envision any matches being added to the list, but it could always happen tomorrow night or hell on Sunday afternoon. So let's jump into it. We will start with the champion versus champion match. We talked about Drew McIntyre winning the WWE Championship this past Monday on Monday Night Raw. He'll be taking on, he is, of course, the WWE Champion on Raw. Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion on SmackDown. I almost wanted to predict that this match was going to be like a no decision. But then I course corrected myself. It's going to be the Ooh-Ah Man. Roman Reigns is going to win this match. Ryan.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Roman should win this, and I think he will be victorious this Sunday night.
Tim.
Ooh-ah.
Intern Mark.
Without question, it's going to be Roman Reigns.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And Matt.
Yeah, make it unanimous.
Yeah, this one was pretty easy.
Before you move.
Yes.
Do we get a Money in the Bank cash in on this?
It would be kind of the best moment because you're going to have Roman looking strong, so it shouldn't hurt Drew McIntyre.
And you're going to have Jey Uso obviously running distractions. It's a 2v1.
Yeah. I think we should. I think it's the best time for it. And I think it would spice things up coming out of it, going into what is really kind of the deadest month of the year, in my opinion. December in WWE land is between Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. That's dead world. Give me the Miz.
Oh, okay. Someone forgot about the incredible storyline where Del Rio hit Santa with his car and almost killed him.
You're right. I did forget about it. Well, I've just tried to eliminate everything Del Rio related.
That's fair.
From my
Totally
head.
fair.
Didn't Mick Foley scream out, like somebody screamed out Santa during that? I gotta go back and watch that clip again. Oh man, that's such a good segment.
Do you know what you're asking for here with the cash in? And the WWE universe and the internet wrestling community bitching that we put the belt on Drew McIntyre for 6 days for a cash in. Why couldn't it be Randy Orton?
Yep.
They will melt down. You know that.
Good.
Anyway.
Good.
They melted down when it went back to Drew, because why did you have Drew drop the title to begin with?
You know what? I'm going to parlor. Fuck you all.
Drew McIntyre is a 2-time champion. Like 2 years ago, would you have imagined that if somebody said that he's going to be a 2-time WWE champion? Nobody would have thought it was actually going to happen. Devin also has Roman Reigns winning. We have a question here. Is this where Undertaker plays in with the history with Roman? I don't see Taker getting involved here. Obviously, we can touch on that aspect of Survivor Series as well. And hell, let's just hit it now. I mean, it's the final farewell of the Undertaker. I know last week we all kind of, except for me, had hypothesized that this will not actually be the end of the Undertaker, that this is going to set up a final match. I'm in the camp that it's not. I think the way that this is all ended, let it be. Like, you got an awesome cinematic match. You had the documentary. Let him go out where he debuted. Is let it be. Because here's the thing. Like, if we knew there was going to be a full stadium at WrestleMania this year, I'd say, why the hell not? But do you want to do it in front of, part Thunderdome, part socially distanced crowd? Are you going to drag it out another year till there's fans at WrestleMania? I mean, Taker's on the wrong side of 50 at this point. I think let it be. But if anybody has any other thoughts on that, I know, Tim, you weren't with us last week.
I don't want it. I will go on record by saying that, but I truthfully believe Taker closes the show and he will get interrupted by The Fiend. There's no reason for The Fiend to not be on Survivor Series if he's not doing something with The Undertaker.
Yeah, but so just because he gets interrupted by The Fiend doesn't mean it's Taker Fiend at WrestleMania.
Could just be the Fiend.
The Fiend has literally fed on Kurt Angle with no match, Mick Foley with no match, Kane with no match. He's literally gone through these lists of legends who have come through, and he's just clawed them, and that's it. Like,
so he could just
I
end
think
the Undertaker.
I think you get the Ric Flair leave the memories alone deal. You get Taker in the ring with Vince. You have the parade of people. It's all done, and then ka-doom, ka-doom, ka-doom. Lights go out.
Retribution.
The Fiend shows
Oh,
up.
wrong.
The Fiend
My bad.
shows up. Taker, like the old outlaw, he draws his weapons one last time. Can't get a shot off. Fiend puts him down, and that's how you've passed the torch of being a phenom from The Undertaker to Bray Wyatt. No match needed. It's perfect. Like,
But
this is
do you think
exactly
that's- I mean, I love that.
That's so much better than what
I like that so much better.
I'd be fully on board with that. But do you think Vince lets like his best character go out like that?
Yes.
It's always better to go out on the back.
In
I
wrestling,
have a hard time believing that Vince, because the Undertaker is so important to Vince.
correct. But Vince this is a conversation that you probably know, you're familiar with if I draw back to the history of Vince McMahon. He believes in a time-honored tradition. Everyone at the end goes out on their back. Kurt went out on his back. Austin went out on his back. The Rock went out on his back.
He forced
Hogan
Brett to go out on his.
Went out on his back. Shawn went out on his back. Undertaker is no different, and if the Undertaker has his way, if Undertaker had his way, he would have gone out on his back with Roman. Now he actually gets to give that opportunity of being dominated to the Fiend in a face-off that they haven't had. They haven't had in this new incarnation of Bray Wyatt. And at a point where Bray actually can use this.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's starting to get back to, like, super powerful Bray Wyatt. Like, very sneakily, he's starting to get to height of powers again.
Yeah.
And
kudos to the pairing with Alexa Bliss for helping that whole situation go on.
Honestly, part of that goes to Nikki Cross, too.
Yeah, Nikki has been fantastic.
Like, Nikki
in this
as
role.
being the person who's like proving how strong the grip of the Fiend is on a person.
Mm-hmm.
And like to the point where people lose their humanity because of the Fiend's presence. I'm curious to see what, like, getting off on a sidebar tangent, Nikki said she's gonna do whatever it takes to get Alexa back. What does that mean?
Yeah, dude. There's
Hopefully,
Is
it
she
talks to
gonna-
her with that accent a little bit more.
I love it, dude.
Lexa,
It is,
I do too.
Lexa.
So good.
it is fantastic, and like all the time, there's so
Look at
many.
me.
There's so many points too where female superstars, and now because of the Alexa Bliss title, female superstars talking in the back, and you'll just see the puppets just hanging out. Like there's just so many layers to all of it that it's so freaking good.
The Funhouse is getting nasty. It's like gnarly now. It's
Um,
so much fun.
And the thing too with to Matt, to your question is I think the other reason why I think Vince will do this and not have a problem with doing it is
he's busy recounting votes.
Well, yes, he's busy recounting votes. And if you give Bray Wyatt the Fiend this rub from the Undertaker on Taker's way out, it makes the Fiend more valuable. And if there's anything Vince loves more than the Undertaker, it's money.
Money, yeah.
So
that's fair.
You know,
I mean, and I hope you're right, because I love that idea. And I'm with Ryan here. Like, I don't want to see another match.
I really
totally
don't.
fine never seeing Undertaker wrestle a match again. I just think it's a little naive to think it will never happen again. Like, I think it does.
You know, I mean, remember, we've seen Shawn Michaels come back. So the idea that the Undertaker is never going to wrestle again isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Terry Funk retired like 6 times. Ric Flair
He retired 6 times in 2000.
Ric Flair retired and then immediately went to TNA.
Right.
Like, so
are you saying Undertaker to TNA next week?
I think he's
what I'm
all
hearing?
elite.
You mean the Gravedigger is showing up on AEW Dynamite next Wednesday? Is that what you're telling me?
The United States ass kicker is going to show up.
Limp Bizkit's recording a new version of Rollin' as we speak.
It's actually a cover band, Pimp Lisket.
Oh, Pimp Liskit's good.
They are good. They probably sold more than Limp Bizkit, if we're being totally honest.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Pimp Lisket. It's Gimp Trisket. Gimp Trisket.
Yeah.
They play at the Chameleon Club.
Pimp Lisket.
They opened for Fozzy.
Oh, no. Fozzy
opened for them. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no, what they did is they tried this thing where they were both on the stage at the same time and they played their set simultaneously.
I heard Gimp Tristic wanted to wear masks and Fozzy wouldn't let him.
They were like, that's Slipknot's gimmick.
Get out of here.
Stupid idiot.
Yeah. It was a no mask tour. It was COVID fest. But yeah, I love that idea. And like, I also wouldn't be surprised if we get another Undertaker match at whether it's at this WrestleMania or at some other point, because he even said it in the documentary. Like, if Vince calls me, I'm probably going to do it. Like we saw that in the documentary.
Like the farther Undertaker gets away from actually competing, the better. I think with a sense of closure that Survivor Series can be for the Undertaker, it's hard to bring that. It would absolutely not be the Dead Man. I don't think we're seeing the Dead Man anymore. I think if we see anything, we see kind of what we saw with like the Boneyard match.
Yeah, kind
where
of
we get that what Undertaker coined as the unholy trinity.
Yeah.
With, part Dead Man, part badass, part Mark.
Yeah, and I could be better with that.
But even so, like, I don't think we need a match.
No.
Like, what if we got another Firefly Funhouse match and we had the Undertaker get put through 30 years of Undertaker, and like you go back to Mean Mark and you lean in on like his instances with Paul Heyman. He used to team with Dan Spivey. Dan Spivey was Waylon Mercy. So like there's crossovers there that
I
you
could
do.
go for. That I could go for.
People loved it with Cena. Like,
yeah.
oh my god.
And that's
then,
more that's more plausible and better than a in the ring match. I don't need to see Taker in the ring again.
And here's the cool thing too. There's always that what if storyline you can do with Undertaker, where what if WCW bought WWF? What happens to the Undertaker not in WWF? Like, what happens if Ted Turner absorbed Vince McMahon's company in 2001? Like, that's that what if that you could play too. Like,
and it's not like we're getting cinematic matches monthly like we were a few months ago.
Yeah.
They don't need it anymore because they have the Thunderdome.
They have the
Thunderdome. So spread these out. And when we get one, I'm pleasantly surprised. Ooh, we're getting a cinematic match.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. And here's the deal, Tim. I don't, like I said, I don't want a match.
I don't either.
I feel like we need to have an interaction with the Fiend.
We will get it.
And the Undertaker.
We will get it.
And I thought that would lead to a match your way 10 times better. You don't need to have a match to still get the rub and go out on your back. That's exactly what should happen.
And it will close the show. Like, There's
it absolutely should.
There's nothing on this card, and we talked about it in like the pre-show.
No, this card.
There's nothing on the
great.
pre-show that screams main event. Like,
it stinks.
Like it's and this is the bummer too. And I meant to bring this up, and we'll obviously get back to the rest of the 5 matches and the predictions. You know, last year we had NXT part of Survivor Series, and obviously I think the reason we're not getting that this year is because you're trying to limit the number of people you know, at the show and stuff like that. So it is a bummer because I think there was obviously potential to build off what NXT did last year. But I've seen a lot of people saying this, that they have a hard time getting into Survivor Series because there's no stakes on the show. So you're building it as Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. You know, for me, I mean, I guess I look at it, I was going to watch regardless, whether it's Team Raw, Team SmackDown, or if they just do classic, you know, 4 or 5 traditional Survivor Series matches and maybe like a title match here or there. But I've pressed a few people and I said, what would your stakes be? Most people don't really have an answer. So let's go around. Like, if you're going to put stakes on Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, the only one that came to my mind, actually, Tim, I'll go to you first since you raised your hand.
So this, I'm not taking credit for this one. This is absolutely from Marcus, the best friend. Have the winning team of the 5-on-5 match challenge the champion of their brand at TLC.
Oh, okay.
6-man TLC, 6-woman TLC for the championship. So that way, like, if Team Raw wins, it'll be AJ, Keith, Sheamus, Braun, Riddle, and Drew, or it'll be KO, Jey Uso, Corbin, Seth, TBD, or Roman. And then
TBD,
the same.
he just came over from AEW, right?
Yeah, TBD. Yep.
He had a decent run over there. The other one I kind of thought too is the winner or winners get the final spots in the Royal Rumble, and you know the last person that, so like in the men's match, like let's say that King Corbin is the last one like eliminated for Team SmackDown, maybe the first one eliminated because that would probably make a little bit more sense. Have them at Corbin would be the number 1 entrant in the Royal Rumble, and if the final 2 on Team Raw would be Keith Lee and AJ Styles, those would be 29 and 30 in the Royal Rumble. So, you know, so they have better odds of getting to WrestleMania and the title match.
Right.
Like Devin says, Brand wins the most matches, gets number 30 spot. And then you could, over the next 6 weeks or so, battle to see who gets the actual 30 spot. Any other thoughts on what you would like to see the stakes on Team Raw versus Team SmackDown to be?
I get the idea. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Ryan.
No, I want you to go ahead.
Okay. I mean, I was just going to say beyond those two, the only other one I could see would just be the winning team gets to be in the Money in the Bank match.
Okay. Ryan?
I could see that. You move the draft afterward, and the brand that has the most wins at the end of the night gets the first draft pick.
Okay. I like that. I like that as well. Mark, do you have any other thoughts?
You know, it'd be nice to see a trophy for the best in the world for the brand that wins.
No, Shane already has that. Best.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, just bring back the Andre the Giant trophy.
Here we go.
What happened to the ovary trophy?
I was just thinking about that too. Where's the ovary trophy?
Was Naomi the last winner of that?
Yeah, as I say, because they didn't do those this year because of COVID.
Oh,
restrictions.
yeah, that's right. They couldn't do them.
So yeah, it was Naomi, and who won the? Oh, it was
Brawny
Braun.
Strowman's.
Yeah, because he eliminated the SNL guy.
Oh, so bad.
That was at least on the kickoff show, right? Like that wasn't on the main.
Still had to sit through it.
Yeah, you were there. I think you got a good enough WrestleMania to ease the pain.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, let's.
It really was. It was very good.
Let's get back to the predictions here. We have the women's champion versus champion match. Asuka from Raw, and Devin says the trophy got left behind at MetLife Stadium.
Probably.
Maybe that's what cursed the Giants and Jets. It's just the stank of that trophy is just hanging over. By all means, keep it there. Giants and Jets can keep stanking as much as they want. And Sasha Banks, of course, the SmackDown Women's Champion. I have Sasha winning this one. I mean, SmackDown's been your dominant brand as of late. Sasha, the new champion over there. I think having her pick up the win. I'm looking forward to this match. I think this match should be real good. Ryan.
Yeah, I too have Sasha.
Tim.
I'm going with Asuka.
Okay. Intern Mark.
I'm looking forward to this match too, and I'm going to go with Asuka.
Matt.
I have Sasha. I think you don't take the momentum away from her that quickly.
All right, then we go to the tag team champions. You have the New Day, Kofi and Xavier, the Raw tag team champions versus the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Your SmackDown tag team champions. I also have the Street Profits picking up the win here. Devin has Sasha winning the women's match. I have the Street Profits winning here. I've kind of enjoyed the back and forth these two teams have had. I think continuing the Street Profits, kind of dominant run here with the tag team titles, and just keep that thing rolling. Ryan.
This is where I have Raw picking up their first victory because it's the New Day. Of course, the New Day should win this.
Tim.
This is a missed opportunity on when we used to have authority figures. If there was an authority figure on SmackDown, I would put Big E as the guest referee to make him call it either for or against either team. And if because obviously he'll go with the New Day, then the GM gets to put Big E through his paces, and then you can actually build him. But instead, Big E's gonna probably do a backstage segment tomorrow on SmackDown, and he's gonna laugh and clap and haha, and that's it. I got the Profits up.
Very good. Intern Mark.
Yeah, I'd like to see New Day win, but I think the Street Profits will, so they can get that rub.
Very good. And Matt.
Profits are up.
Matt, you realize you've agreed with me 3 times out of 6.
This is not good.
I'm scared too.
Like what is happening right now? I'm afraid to keep going. But we go to the champion versus champion match, the Raw United States champion Bob Lashley.
Bob!
Taking on the Intercontinental champion on SmackDown with Sami Zayn. This is my first prediction in the order we're going, where I have Raw picking up a victory, and I have Bob winning the match here because the Hurt Business has to keep winning. So, Bob. Ryan.
Hit the button again.
Bob!
Tim.
Sammy.
Ooh. Thought I was going to get to hit the button. Intern Mark.
Hit the button, Jim.
Bob!
Attaboy. Let's see. Devin had the Street Profits. He also has.
Bob!
And Matt.
I hate to keep doing this, Jim, but hit
God.
the button.
Bob!
I'm so scared. Actually, maybe this is what's going to balance back 2020. Like this is what it was going to take. All right, then we go to the 2 traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches. We'll start with the women's team. Raw is Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, your women's tag team champions. Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce taking on Team SmackDown. Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and 2 members to be determined. I would say they also came from AEW, but they don't have a women's division to pull from. So. I have Team Raw picking up the win. I have Lana as your sole survivor, and I have Nia Jax going through a table at the hands of your sole survivor, Lana. I feel like this is where Matt and I are going to not match up on picks. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, not at all.
I'm not trying to be rude here.
Why is
Yeah,
Lana
go
putting
ahead.
her
Do it.
teammate
You
through a table?
really think Lana's hoisting up
Well,
Nia Jax?
She'll have help. She'll have help from the rest of the division.
A goddamn crane?
She has help from the
Come on.
train.
By herself? She's not doing it by herself.
Be rude.
But why
be
is
rude.
Lana putting her teammate through a table?
Come on, man.
Well, it's after the match, after she's the sole survivor, and then I assume.
Or just sets
But
up.
is Nia just going to hang out ringside?
Look, it's WWE. It's not going to make sense. At some point, she is going to put Nia Jax through the table.
If you really wanted our picks to differ, we could have found some other way. Like, this is just an outlandish scenario.
Tim gives us these great winding storylines of Big E being pulled for brand supremacy or his close friends.
Uh-huh.
You have 110-pound Lana
Uh-huh.
picking up Nia Jax, gorilla press slamming her over into a table.
Uh-huh. I feel like mine's actually more likely to happen because it doesn't make any sense.
You're unbelievable.
He's so right.
Team SmackDown.
Ridiculous.
Team SmackDown for Ryan. Mark or Tim.
I also have Team SmackDown, and I'm curious. I literally have no idea who's even left on SmackDown that could be the 2.
Like Bianca should
Carmella.
probably be the sole survivor, and Carmella could be one.
Naomi.
Natalia's over there. I think Naomi's on Raw, and she's also hurt.
Is she on Raw?
I think she's on Raw now, but I also think she had surgery just a couple weeks ago.
Oh God.
Is it Billy Kay on SmackDown?
Billy Kay's on SmackDown. Okay, let's take a timeout.
You don't want me on this one.
Look, I was kind of okay when you broke up the Iconics because the rumor was the reason why they were doing it was because Peyton Royce was going to get a singles push. We're like 2 months since they broke up, and now she's just in a tag team with Lacey Evans. Why? Like there's no reason to, like, if you're going to keep her in a tag team, the two Conics infinitely greater than Peyton and Lacey Evans. And I like Lacey Evans. It's not that I don't like Lacey Evans, but what the fuck? Like, what are you doing here? It doesn't make sense. Any thoughts that go around the room here?
Yeah, you're going to put them on opposite teams, and they're going to have to battle each other, and you're going to be like, oh, it's going to tug at your heartstrings.
Fair, I guess.
I mean, that's actually how I had this match ending.
Okay, I can see that. But Tim, I feel like you have some thoughts on the two Conics.
Whole thing sucks.
I actually have Lana picking them both up and choke slamming them through tables.
Because they're damn workers and they'll go up for her. Light as a feather.
That doesn't look great. They were like the Cardinals trainers are like stuffing a towel up in Kyler Murray's shoulder pads. That doesn't.
There.
I'm not a doctor, and I'm not an NFL player.
His arm is falling off. Actually,
I'm like,
off.
Just doesn't seem right. All right, time back in. Tim, I think you said Team SmackDown, correct?
I said Team Smacketh Downeth.
All right, intern Mark.
Well, I hate to say it, I could see Team Raw win. Really could see Lana being the sole survivor. As scary as that sounds.
It does sound awful and scary, but I just. All right, Matt. Here we go.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I had Team Raw because I had Peyton Royce beating Billy Kay to finish the match.
We can stick with that part of it.
Yeah, but my God, Lana slamming Nia Jax through a table is.
I mean, obviously she's getting help, but I'm just
From
saying.
who?
And why?
The entire division, because Nia and Shayna have been assholes to the entire Raw Women's division.
So you have Lana winning, and her team, including these two assholes, come out to congratulate her. Is that why they're back out here?
At the end of the match, just at some point, it'll happen. It can happen sometime during the match. Hell, they could put Nia through a table, and that's what caused them to get counted out. So it doesn't hurt the tag team champions as much either.
So during the match, Lana.
I have Lana doing
teammate.
3 moonsaults in this match too.
In succession.
Well, I have Lana
saying it
climbing
makes
up to
sense.
the top of the ring post.
On the ring post itself.
On the ring post.
Not
Right.
the turnbuckle, the post.
Ring post. I still shouldn't have got points for that. I don't give a shit what you say.
Why?
Well,
You said
That was before the little landing area on top of the post.
It's true, but they didn't go on the post. They went on the top turnbuckle.
I hate you.
Look, I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just saying that it could happen.
Well, no, I have Lana going on the ring post and doing a swanton bomb through Nia Jax.
I have
on the
Lana
table.
actually finding a way to get on top of the actual damn Thunderdome.
Above the part that we even see?
Yeah, just up there, like the crow sting.
Doing a shooting star press off the top.
A triple shooting star.
That sounds about right. Actually,
You know what could happen?
What's that?
Lana could get eliminated, defect from Raw, become one of the 2 unannounced SmackDown stars with Eva Marie, and her and Eva Marie could win the match.
Why not?
That's some good shit right there.
There you go. All of these things could actually happen. Let's be honest.
All of them are more plausible than Lana putting Nia Jax through a
Well, I
table.
wouldn't say her doing like a swanton bomb is more plausible.
More plausible.
I feel like she's pretty agile.
Is she?
Jim, you
She
have
does the
her,
splits and shit.
lifting Nia Jax and putting her through a table.
You
don't
think
she
she
could do
is
a
more
swanton
strong
bomb?
than agile? A
Me,
professional
no.
dancer.
No.
No, not you, Big Jim.
Oh, okay.
No. She's going to get help. She's going to get help.
Have you
What?
ever seen the movie Operation Dumbo Drop?
Oh my!
Okay, that's a Ryan comment. Come on now.
Yeah, well, when
That's
you
all-
stop making them, somebody's got to make them.
That's off-brand.
Yeah, well, look, I leave the low-hanging fruit there until somebody doesn't take it.
What the hell is even that?
Wow. Let's go. Let's move on.
Who do we think are the 2 TBDs for SmackDown? I'm just curious what you boys think.
Carmella and Natty.
Carmella and Billy Kay.
Billy Kay and Bailey.
It's got to be Carmella. Bailey would be good.
Who do you think, Ryan?
I too had Billy Kay, and I don't know if she's ever going to wrestle again or even where she's at, but I put Sonya Deville.
Oh, like a return. Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think technically she's still a free agent. I don't think she.
What if she's a part of Retribution?
Oh, that would get people's attention.
Interesting.
Because they only have one female in Retribution at this point.
Uh-huh.
I like it.
What happened to Mercedes?
She
she's not
said,
even wrestling.
hell to the no.
I don't blame her. I'm not blaming her.
Oh, wait. Our team is Mace, T-Bar, Slapjack,
And Cookie Cutter or something.
and Reckoning?
Slapdick, yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Nah.
Oh no. I don't have to fuck this shit. I'm out.
Happened to Martinez.
And yeah, she's back on.
I'm mad, but I'm not that mad. I'm good.
And she's like, you know what? I'm more just inconvenienced as opposed to mad. I'm just gonna go back to NXT.
I feel like she had the best storyline of anybody that took forever to get there.
Well, apparently they did like a retribution takeover of WWE's Twitter page this week.
They did.
And there was vignettes from every member like explaining why they are who they are now. And apparently they said they're really good. So I hope they showed them on Raw or something.
They should.
I need to go back and check them out. But yeah, apparently everybody said like they were all really, really good. And I actually like the comment because it ties back to Mustafa Ali being the
hacker man's
hacker. So that ties that back as well.
Yeah, did you see any of them, Jim?
I didn't actually because
they were really good. I mean,
I was napping that day.
It had Dijak like hugging Keith Lee, and it exposes them pre-mask, so it like confirms their identity or whatever. It was actually really good. They should absolutely make that part of Raw. They won't.
No,
but it should.
I mean, you have 3 hours. It's not like you can fit in a couple of vignettes somewhere.
They should.
All right, let's go to the men's 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw, which is AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle, taking on Team SmackDown, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and a player to be named later. I have Raw picking up this one as well. I didn't make any predictions on who will be survivors or sole survivors or anything along those lines, but I have Raw picking up the win, which would then balance out 3-3, Team Raw and Team SmackDown. There's no winner, there is no loser. We're all just one big family.
You were so tapped out from your previous match.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
that you just couldn't come up with a sole survivor.
No. Well, I don't think there's going to be sole survivors in both. Like, I think with the men's, there's going to be multiple, maybe Keith Lee and AJ Styles or something like that. Like, I don't think it's going to come down to just one. Ryan.
I have Team Raw here. Also to have it 3-3 because it's 2020 and there can be no winners, there can be no losers.
Tim.
I don't quite recognize that Raw team that you told me. I thought that the Raw team was Skipper, Broly, Fireface, Dopey, and what was Braun Strowman's name?
I have no idea.
Someone in the chat, what was Matt Riddle's code name for Braun Strowman's?
Whenever
Riddle's code name.
Sorry, who's Matt Riddle? Whenever I hear Riddle talk, I just think of Towley from South Park. So I just have a hard time.
Integrity Farms.
Intern Mark.
Oh, I didn't even make my pick.
I thought you said. Oh no, you were just talking about Team.
Yeah, I just said I didn't know. I didn't know what his.
I don't think so, Tim.
Didn't know what his Mongoose was. Mongoose was Strowman.
Mongoose.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mongoose.
I almost spit beer into
which 5-person group in the WWE has worse names, Retribution or Team Raw? Vote now, twitter.com/3CountThursday.
Definitely Team Raw.
The poll will be up until Survivor Series. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to go with Team Raw. SmackDown wins 4-2.
Okay. Intern Mark.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Team Raw as well.
So what is it? Do you have a record of your breakdown? Is it a tie?
No, honestly, I didn't really. I didn't think about that, to be honest.
So you had Reigns winning. Did you have Sasha or Asuka? You had Asuka.
I went with Asuka.
You had the Profits, right, over New Day.
That's correct.
You had Bob over Sami Zayn.
Bob.
Do you have Raw or SmackDown for the women?
I went with Raw. I think Lana's going to be the sole survivor.
That's right. And then who'd you go with for the men's?
He went
Men's,
raw.
I'm going to go with Raw.
You went Raw. So you had
Raw.
You had Raw 4-2
Yep.
over SmackDown. You had Raw 4-2. And Matt, who is your pick in the men's?
I picked Team Raw to also have it 3-3, and I have Sheamus bro kicking Keith Lee and AJ Styles through plate out glass windows because you know this is the night where everyone just turns on their own team.
Fuck you, buddy.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, is it racist that AJ Styles thought that DeAndre the Giant didn't speak English?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I just wanted to make sure.
I saw people reacting to that, and I was like, is it? And I'm pretty sure if you have to ask, then it probably is.
Like, he
said, I didn't know you spoke English. And I'm like,
there's so many questions I got to ask you now. Like, he's not a person who puts his pants on the same way we do.
I wanted one question. AJ, I'm sorry. Why did you assume that?
I don't know. Hey, AJ, is the earth round?
Yeah, like,
did you call him Andre the Giant?
DeAndre the Giant.
Okay, I didn't hear you say DeAndre, and I'm like, I thought Andre spoke French.
Yeah,
I'm going through my head. What's wrong with the question? Because I'm pretty sure it was very broken English.
You know, DeAndre the Giant.
Yeah.
DeAndre
the Giant. Different story.
And like,
Yeah, different.
I know they're not really, because we're I guess they're trying to get us to forget that Raw Underground was a thing, but like, he clearly had full conversations with Shane McMahon as Shane was entering Raw Underground.
AJ Styles was busy running a Twitch channel after being boneyarded.
That's true. But I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm
he
sitting
was
there
on
going,
SmackDown, wasn't he?
I don't remember him. Did he talk back? I thought Shane did all the talking.
Yeah, Shane did more of the talking, but yeah, he
would just like give him a fist bump or
say,
something.
how's it going tonight, boss? Oh, it's going good. Like stuff like that. But I mean, like, he talked to him. So,
Yeah. He's not a deaf ninja or a mute ninja.
Right.
He's a big giant man.
I am pretty sure that like it's at least across the line. Like it's across the line that you probably shouldn't have ventured over to. So
was he was the big ninja?
Are you kidding me?
I didn't know that. I thought there was just a tall ninja.
Nah, who's the only big dude that you've seen on TV recently?
Titus O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil is thick. There ain't no way that big ninja is Titus.
Come on. All right, let's pre-grade Survivor Series. I'm gonna just go C. I'm gonna go C.
God.
The card looks bad, so I have like, I'm looking at the card going like it's the matches are garbage.
A plus C.
I don't.
Do you know that means that everyone else in this group has to grade it D or lower now?
Thank you, Tim.
Like if
rules
you
don't matter.
If you have pre-graded this C, then all of us have to invent a letter grade.
And he's just doing that so that when he like inevitably gives it the A on the recap podcast, he'd be like, look, I didn't think this would be any good at all, but my God, it just exceeded my expectations.
Due to my mathematical equations, I got it over here. Jimbo metrics coming in hot.
Exactly. I like
F.
that Jimbo metrics.
Straight F, I guess.
Straight F.
Matt says F. Matt actually says,
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
0.0.
Ryan.
You're absolutely going to change your tune about this because it's not going to matter how good or how shitty the matches are. It's all going to hinge on the Undertaker and what interactions he has to close the show. So you will end up giving this an A minus.
I still grade match by
I would
match.
say it is matches aren't going to matter because it's about moments in professional wrestling, and that moment will supersede all of them. I will give this a B.
Okay, Tim.
Fuck.
I'm because Jim rated it so poorly. I must go a negative D minus.
Negative D minus. Intern Mark.
Oh boy, I'm leaning towards the C plus. I'm gonna give it a C with a little plus on the side.
There you go. Devin says B minus. And Ryan, like, yes, if the Undertaker segment, even if the Undertaker segment gets an A plus from me, I still go through. And again, this goes back to Matt.
That's a line, you know that.
No, it will, because, like, you know, if I go through match by match and I grade each match as presented. So even if that Undertaker segment is an A plus, I still have to counter in if a match gets a 60, if a if 3 matches get 70s.
One WWE match is getting a 60.
I think I've given a match.
You're not watching Blood and Guts.
I've actually I can't grade that one because it never happened.
There have been terrible matches before, and you give them higher grades because you're like, hey, at least it was short. We got it over with. It was the last pay-per-view you did that.
Well, I think I did last pay-per-view, but I have given matches since I started the new grading system. I know I've given a match.
I need to see I need to see your notes, man.
Yeah.
Well, the notes are in the archives.
That's the report cards.
The notes are in the archives. You can go. You subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Amazon.
You have not broken down points per points.
I have. I've told.
He has before.
I've said on the review pods. I've said what each of them.
I need you to release your bank statements. I need you to release your tax returns.
I'm more open than impotus. Okay, you can check my tax returns, motherfucker. They're in the archive. They're there. I showed my work and everything because Teach always gave me shit when I'd grade a show. I'd talk about each match and then I'd grade a show and he claimed it was too high. So I started going through on my PW scorecard. I write what each match gets, then I add up the total, divide by however many matches / segments there are, and that's where I get my letter grade.
And then we grade on the curve, add extra point and extra credit, and we still get to the A or B we deserve.
There's been a couple of shows that I've had as B's or B pluses that I said in my mind I'd love to put them as an A.
B's or B pluses. You're ridiculous.
I've stuck to my grade
This is the guy who gives everyone in his class a B because they just showed up all year.
Yeah, I'm the favorite teacher.
That was my
Thanks a
favorite.
lot.
With it. Oh, this was definitely the worst of these Hell in a Cell matches. A minus.
Well, I mean, again, if you have all A pluses and you get 1 A, is that A not your worst grade?
Sure.
Bray Wyatt got buried underneath a Craftsman toolbox. S.
All right. So, all right. There's were all of our pre-grades for the show. I'm sure whenever we record something for next week, we'll obviously talk a little bit about.
Matt, did you give a grade? I totally missed it.
Yeah, he said F.
I said F.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, I did this.
I award you no points,
That's right.
and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, my hands were really tied here.
I get it.
I mean, he started.
Now
with
you can
C,
only be
y'all.
surprised. See, you're going into it with no expectation.
We never saw it coming.
There you go. Actually, if Matt gave a show a pre-grade of an A, I would have never seen it coming.
I think I gave a show a higher grade than you recently, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you gave Hell in a Cell a higher grade.
Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Was that the one?
Because I think mine was a B or a B plus, and it's because there was a couple matches on the card that were just they were just shitty. Despite the A pluses on the card, I was still at a B. All right, just a couple of news items here, and then we're going to close this thing out. It was announced today WWE Thunderdome is going to be on the move. It will be moving from the Amway Center in Orlando to the Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. It begins a new residency starting with SmackDown on Friday, December the 11th. From the press releases, the move to Tampa marks the next iteration for WWE Thunderdome, which launched in August as part of WWE's first ever residency at the Amway Center. It recently received top honors at this year's Sportel Awards for the best virtual fan experience. Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view programming will be produced at Tropicana Field on closed sets with only essential personnel in attendance. WWE will continue to administer its health and safety protocols for talent, crew, and employees in conjunction with each production, including PCR testing for COVID-19, social distancing, and wearing masks. So that begins in December. Now, do we still think that they find something different for the Royal Rumble, or do they find a way to get some fans at the Tropicana Field for the Royal Rumble? You think that's why the move is to Tropicana Field and not another stadium or arena? Because obviously the reason behind this, the NBA is set to begin in late December, so the Orlando Magic need their home back. Baseball not set to start until the spring if it starts on time, so WWE can hang out at the Tropicana Field for quite a while. And the contract with Amway Center is set to expire on the 24th of this month. I've heard some rumors that they may be doing a few weeks of Raw and SmackDown at the Performance Center, the Capitol Wrestling Center, where they do NXT, while they move the Thunderdome over to Tropicana in Tampa, because I assume there's only one of these monstrosities, so they need time to move and set it up. But so yeah, do we think that Royal Rumble will be with some fans in this space? Tim says yes. Brian says yes. Yeah.
Especially with the ray of sunshine that is gleaming around the dark clouds of 2020 with the talks of the COVID vaccine and how very close we are. I heard that by the end of 2020, the two companies who are behind most of the vaccines will have produced 50 million vaccines.
That's good.
By the end of 2020.
50 million each or 50 million combined?
Combined.
Okay, so that would get 25 million people vaccinated, because it is a two-part shot.
I think it's
total doses.
Yeah, I think that's
okay.
Yeah.
So okay,
because by the end of 2021, they're saying globally they're going to have 1.3 billion by 2021.
How many people are in the world?
They're only going to give. I bet they're only going to, like, kids are still like.
Fuck them. Let them get sick.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it'll probably be. There's going to be, you have to account for people who aren't going to get vaccinated because one reason or another. People who will view it the same way as they view the flu shot. I mean, I know me.
7.5 billion people in the world, Jim, in 2018. 7.5 billion.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, but I mean that just from those two companies, and obviously there's other companies that are working on. So that's definitely an encouraging sign. But I mean, AEW has fans in the building. There's at Florida football. There's fans in the building. So I don't see why there wouldn't be.
And they're in Florida. I mean, like,
yeah, Florida don't care.
It's where to be. Like,
yeah, my brother and his girlfriend live in Florida, and Florida's Florida.
The Walmart of the United States.
Precisely. But yeah, so Thunderdome is on the move. Let's move on to this one. Impact, the Knockouts Tag Team Champion. They've released the first round bracket for the Knockouts Tag Team titles. You have Tennille Dashwood and Alicia Edwards against Havoc and Nevaeh. Killer Kelly and Renee Michelle taking on Jordan Grace and a partner to be determined. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steeles versus, oh God, I'm afraid to say it, the Sea Stars. And Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly against Taya and Rosemary. Do we have a prediction? We'll go around. Who do we think will become the new and obviously the returning Impact Knockout Tag Team champions. Ryan, who do you think is going to end up winning the championships?
Jordan Grace and her mystery partner.
Who do you think that'll be?
It's a mystery.
You have no predictions on who it might be.
Whoever it is, that person will be victorious with Miss Jordan Grace.
Keep up the great work. Tim.
I'm gonna go with the exact same answer.
Okay.
And her
Keep up the
partner,
great work, Tim.
And her partner will be Lufisto.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you giving a great response and answer on a podcast. I'm afraid to even ask. Intern Mark.
Oh, if he says one,
just mute him.
I'm taking the headphones off.
I'm so excited, Mark. Let me have it.
Come on, Mark, do it.
Well, let me just say this: not all stars belong.
Oh, thank God! Oh,
I gotta go with the Sea Stars, baby. I'm going to stick with them. They're going the whole way. I'd love to see Jordan Grace and Lufisto team up again on a main stage for the first time.
Devin, have a good
But I
Thanksgiving.
still, you know what? I'd make it even better.
What's that, Mark? What would make it better?
When the Sea Stars beat them.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it'd be even better when the Sea Stars beat Lufisto and Jordan Grace.
You're right, guys. I should have
the Impact Tag Team Women's Champions.
I should have muted him. But Devin, have a good Thanksgiving. Yeah, anybody that's listening in, obviously we're getting close to wrapping up the show. We will not be live next week. We will have new content though, so make sure you're following us on social media. Subscribe on all the podcast feeds, because we will be dropping new content next Thursday. But Devin, hope you have a good holiday, bud. Matt, who do you think is going to win the Knockout Tag Team titles?
Taya and Rosemary.
Very good. I'm going to go with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. I haven't watched Impact in a while, so I have no real reason for that. But
two former guests of the show.
There we go. There's the perfect reason for it. And then finally, a possibility that there will be no more or much fewer in the way of WWE house shows. During recent contract negotiations, a number of talents in WWE were told that the, quote, old way of touring and doing house shows is not coming back, even after the U.S. bounces back from the ongoing pandemic. This is according to the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter. With WWE setting record profits, even without doing house shows, the company is gradually moving towards the mindset that it no longer needs to tour for 300 days a year. Meltzer also highlighted that the live events division, which over the last year was often a, quote, money loser, and it become dispensable for the WWE in the longer scheme of things. He also noted that the economics of the wrestling business is different than it's ever been. House shows are not viewed by WWE as a place where they can sell merchandise and give exposure to an experienced talent. He said what they found is that with no house shows, all of a sudden WWE shop merchandise numbers skyrocketed, and the total merch sales ended up being almost identical to when there were shows. The pandemic era has also seen lesser travel, exhaustion, wear and tear, and thus fewer injuries, which has been seen as a positive by WWE. And from the merchandise standpoint, I mean, like, here's the thing: like, we've gone to WWE live shows, and we have obviously seen like parents with kids, and they want the Cena shirt and hat and foam finger and necklace and wristbands and all of that. But for the most part, now I've bought, I think I bought an NXT. Like there was like a poster print the one time when we went to the show at Bethlehem. I bought like the souvenir cup one time. But generally I don't buy merchandise. First off, at the live shows, the shirts only go up to 2X. And also, like, it's what, $35-40 for a shirt at a show. They're, $15, buy one, get one for $1 almost every other day on the WWE shop. Why? I don't need to walk away from a show with a piece of merchandise anymore. So I think that has kind of been the change as well, as people have kind of gone, I don't need this here and now. It's no different than what they're selling online, and for much cheaper. But I mean, I haven't been to a house show in years. I did go to some more back in the day. I still think they'll probably do like your MSG shows, and there's some bigger venues and bigger times of the year that have probably been beneficial. But I mean, if it's not profitable for them, and I think there's also a lot of releases this year from the live events division. So I mean, all of this kind of points towards that.
Guess we're not getting Hershey wrestling anymore.
No, absolutely not.
If anything, this is just going to increase WWE's bottom line even more because it's going to put a premium on televised events, and it's going to make those pay-per-views must-own tickets, and you can increase the price of those tickets because there's only, 10 a month? Maybe, because I think NXT is going to be stuck in the Capitol Wrestling Center, and they'll do their coconut loop, and then they'll probably go pay-per-viewing with the big brands, every 6 months or every couple months.
You don't think they'll go back to Full Sail after this?
Nope. They spent all this money to make Capitol Wrestling, man. The CWC is so perfect, and it can house fans.
Yeah, but I would. How many did the arena at NXT at the Full Sail hold? I mean, was it only a couple of hundred, or was it in the thousands?
I don't think it got up to 1,000.
I want to see that, because you would think. I mean, and I guess theoretically in the future you could maybe add some more fans.
You have to think too, if the WWE houses it at CWC, 100% of the profits goes to WWE, as opposed to having to rent space at Full Sail.
Well, that's a good point as well. 1,500 is the max capacity here I'm seeing for Full Sail Arena. But we know with wrestling shows, I mean, there wasn't a lot of people on hard cam. You're not getting any people on the end where they're staging and stuff like that. So it was probably under 1,000. So that's kind of a good point too.
But I think it's for the best, to be completely honest with you. It sucks for the house show people, but house shows weren't necessarily drawing that much money. It's a sign of WCW. WCW, the first thing they did was they cut house shows.
Right.
And WWE's actually making money. If anything, it's going to mean more network specials too, because when they do go to a venue, it's going to be a big deal. So you're probably going to get these Starcades, or what was the Smackville?
Yeah, Smackville.
Yeah, you're going to get those. You'll get the Christmas MSG probably.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's still certain markets where I think these house shows were making out fairly well at certain times of the year, and your holiday shows at MSG did well.
Having no house shows also opens up the ability for WWE to do special events overseas more often if they wanted to, and do specials.
There you go. That's a good point too. Yeah, because your travel time is a little bit lighter, and if you split Raw and SmackDown brands, then you can still have a crew to do Raw in the States if you do a Sunday or a Saturday show in the UK or what have you. So,
or even Australia, they could go do Japan again. I'm sure they'd love to get into the China market. They could go to India, which is a big market for them. Of course, Saudi Arabia. I don't know if I'm not sure if they go back to Saudi. I think there's a couple more events still on that ticket.
I mean, that was a long-term partnership, so I assume that they're going to go back.
Right. It's just the last time they were there wasn't very contentious. That was I thought
that was 2 times ago.
Was it 2 times ago?
I think they've been back there since the airport incident.
Right.
Because I think that was the big question when they went back there. It's how's this return going to go? And I mean, obviously there's been a lot of time, and I'm sure I'm sure the Saudis that paid the WWE a lot of money are wanting that to come back and be a thing as well.
So I know we're getting close on time, but last week, did you all talk at all about Zelina Vega?
No, because that happened on Friday.
Okay.
We can touch on that quick. I mean, we literally don't have a set time. I mean,
Yeah. Just bullet point, like, what do you guys think about the decision for WWE to release Zelina? The scuttlebutt is it's because she wouldn't shut down her OnlyFans account.
Yeah, it sounds like it wasn't the Twitch thing. It was the OnlyFans thing.
Yeah, and the OnlyFans has never been in her name. It's even under a pseudonym. It's Megan Minx, not even her name. And like, I don't even think she publicized it on her own social media.
I wasn't aware that she had one.
Right, but like,
you know
the
what I mean?
cosplay community.
The only reason I knew she had a Twitch is because I had seen people talking about, like, I don't watch Twitch streams, of course, besides not the Tool Man.
Exactly.
But
few and far between.
I'm not a Twitch viewer.
Right.
It's, because my gaming isn't that in depth, so that's not really my world. Like, here's the thing: does it suck that she is no longer in the WWE? Absolutely. However, she had her convictions. She made a choice, and I have nothing but respect for somebody that says, I want to have these outlets. I'm going to keep these outlets, and I'm going to be willing to sacrifice whatever I have to keep them. I mean, that's, to me, that's like one of the ultimate kind of adult decisions. And I had a moment in my life when I was in college where I kind of had one of, not to this level, obviously, but I had an opportunity to go see the president of the United States at the time, George W. Bush, speak at Hershey. And it was on the same day that I had a test in a class in college. And I had approached my professor and I said, look, I have the opportunity to go see the president. Is there any way I can do a makeup test? And he was, nope. The test dates are announced at the beginning of the semester. And you can not come and take the test, but if you don't get a C or better, you won't pass this test pass this class at the end of the semester for your major. So I remember going out to dinner with my parents and talking to them about the situation. And my mom is like, I was asking my parents, what should I do? And my mom said to me, she's like, well, are you asking me what I would do? And I'll go, crap. Because obviously I'm thinking my mom's going to say, well, you should take the test and, whatever. But she's like, if you think that you can pass the class with getting a 0 on this test, then I would say go for it. How many opportunities are you going to have to see a president of the United States speak? So I made the choice at the time to skip the test. I ended up passing the class. But like, that's an adult decision. When you have a choice laid in front of you of, I can make this sacrifice or I can make this sacrifice. I can stay with the WWE and let go of these outlets, or I can stand up for myself and I'm going to keep these outlets and I'm probably going to get let go from the company. And here's the thing, if she wants to stay in wrestling, there's obviously other companies that are going to love to have her. And she will land on her feet, I think, in February when the 90 days is up, whether it's AEW, whether it's Impact, wherever. She is going to land on her feet in wrestling if she wants to. I see her point of view. I also see the WWE's point of view where they're like, for whatever reason, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether people agree with it or not, the WWE has made a choice about these third-party platforms, and they said, you can't be a part of them if you're working for the WWE. So people have a choice, and I can see both sides of it. I don't necessarily think either is right or wrong. In the adult world, there's obviously times, we all know it, that there's not always a clear cut right or wrong, and this is, to me, is one of them.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Because there's
a
so
shame,
much to unpack with this too.
Yeah,
it is a shame, and if a lot of it falls because she has an OnlyFans site, I think it's really short-sighted for Vince McMahon. I think he would think OnlyFans, which does tend to lean toward sex work, and other things like that. I think for some reason Vince McMahon still thinks like sexuality is still like very taboo and bad for business unless he's the one creating it and controlling it wholly. I'm assuming in their contract somewhere they have to have some sort of content thing. I think that's something we see with many celebrities that you can't be contracted to us and then go do XYZ outside of the business, whether it's your real name or not, because that would still blow back on us. So unfortunately, contract-wise, I think they had her, and there's not much, unfortunately, she could do other than play ball the way the WWE wanted her to play ball. Like Jim said, I think the field is wide open for her. Wherever she'd want to go, she would land on her feet. It's not like she's not wrestled in TNA before. So her name and her star shines brighter than it ever has. Take your talents and go elsewhere then.
What about you guys, Matt, Mark?
I never really agreed with the notion that you can't do certain things on certain platforms. But if it's in a contract and you sign the contract, then there's, that's a decision that I guess you made. I don't necessarily get why it would be an issue in certain aspects, especially on something like Twitch, where we've seen a lot of wrestlers do gaming stuff before, and it's been very well received and increased brand visibility. Xavier Woods is a good example for that. So
almost the example.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily understand it or agree with it, but if that's what you agreed to, then unfortunately that's kind of where you're at.
Mark, what say you?
I think Zelina Vega ultimately made a decision to leave the company. Even though she was let go, I think she knew what her actions were going to get into. Like Matt was saying, she signed a contract and with the WWE. So she's going to be just fine, though. I'll tell you what, it actually may even help her career. Go to another company or do whatever else she wants to do. And ultimately, I think she'll be back. But I really enjoyed her work, even in NXT. I thought she was fantastic. Yeah. And they haven't even scratched the surface of her potential. So It'll be interesting to see her go to a different company, see what she does there, and ultimately where she ends up in the next few years.
Yeah, there's a couple of thoughts of for extra listening, if you guys want to hear more thoughts on this. The first 30 minutes of 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, Conrad and Eric talk about the term independent contractor and really breaks down like the pros and the cons of the entire situation, and also Busted Open Radio like last week.
Was it there over the weekend shows? I know.
Yeah, with Mark Henry, Darby. It was the Darby Allin episode.
Okay,
but Mark Henry candidly speaks about the entire situation as a person who's on the inside. Now I know personally, like with my conversations, we meaning like my group chat that's not you guys. How many times is WWE gonna release someone who has potential, and how long until they release their Stone Cold Steve Austin? WCW let go of so many people, and eventually one of them was Stone Cold, and he changed the business. WWE's already let go of Cody Rhodes, and whatever you say about Cody Rhodes, like without Cody Rhodes, there is no AEW, there's no Wednesday Night War. Like it's Cody stirring that drink. But you also let go of Brody Lee. You let Jericho slip through your fingers. You let Jon Moxley go. You let Rusev go.
I mean, I think like letting Jericho go is more like a, any of the and this isn't just a shot on aging Chris Jericho, but like by that point, WWE got, I mean, not that there wasn't still meat on the bone, but the WWE got their money's worth out of Chris Jericho. Like letting him go. I mean, yeah, sure, it gets more eyes on AEW, absolutely. But like Chris Jericho isn't AEW Stone Cold.
Right. But he's also like
other people could be.
Right. Like
he's also probably a top 5 all-time wrestler that you let go to a competing company.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that with Hogan too, and I mean, ultimately it worked out for W. And not saying that possibly somebody that they let go couldn't come back to bite them, because it absolutely could. I think that is a great point, that at some point, you know, that they could potentially release that person that they really do regret. Like,
and honestly, if I'm being kind of honest, Zelina has the makings of being a transcendent star.
I agree.
Like, who's to say that next breakout star isn't a female? Like,
right, because the industry has changed so much.
She can talk, she can compete, she is marketable, like she hits demographics, and like, unionization aside, Zelina being a free agent now and having her pick of the litter to where she wants to go or what she wants to do, it's only a matter of time before she lands somewhere, and wherever she decides to go, that's gonna shake things up.
Right, because there will be people that go with her. Like viewership wise. I'm not even talking people in the business. I'm talking viewership wise.
What is the status of Aleister Black now?
That's
a
great question. He wanted to go back to NXT,
and he was denied.
Right. So I'm sure there's a degree of
they're not using him.
There. No, I think he ended up on SmackDown. He was in that feud with Owens, but he's been relatively lost and forgotten. And I mean, here's the thing: you have a great point that the next big star, that potential to be a Stone Cold level star to a degree, could absolutely be a woman. I mean, I tweeted it today when I got done, because I watched AEW last night. I watched NXT this morning, and everybody wants to talk each week about who won the ratings, which show was better, who won. You know who won this week? Women's wrestling, because both shows featured not only two great matches. And I know I had a little fun last night because I was like, this was a great NWA women's title match. If only AEW would do their women's division like this, which, I mean, is still a valid point. They are starting to lay some pieces. There was a backstage segment with Brandy, and I keep forgetting Jade Cargill. So that looks to be a thing. And Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa looks like it's thing. And then last night on NXT, you had Shotzi Blackheart again featured as the person announcing that War Games is a thing. And we're seeing, there was a great women's tag team match. The main event, Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai, was a fantastic match. The women won the night. Not AEW, not NXT, women's wrestling won the night. And really, if you look over the past, let's just call the pandemic era, the women, I mean, obviously, especially in WWE, AEW is getting there, but the women in WWE have dominated all three brands throughout the last 8 months. So absolutely, Zelina Vega could move the needle to wherever she goes. And if I'm AEW, and I'm Tony Khan, I'm opening the checkbook almost. Because if you're already starting to build your women's division and this tie-in with NWA, however far this goes, like, strike while the iron's hot, keep building for the next 90 days. And if Zelina Vega ends up in AEW, that's huge for them. That is absolutely huge for them.
I don't know. Just a little bit of. No, I'm not saying Zelina shouldn't be or couldn't be. There's I think questions with Tim maybe calling her the next Stone Cold. WCW didn't get rid of Stone Cold Steve Austin. WCW let Stunning Steve leave. That's a big difference. The WWE made Steve Austin what Steve Austin was.
I also don't think there's going to be anybody to the
No.
level of Stone Cold either.
I mean, the WCW let Mean Mark Calloway leave. They didn't let The Undertaker go. So I don't think you can necessarily rewrite history that WCW let The Undertaker go. WWE let Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder go and Sean Spears go.
Yes!
And these guys, I mean, I'm just saying. These are
Right.
what they are. They
Right.
let these guys go. And they're doing stuff in TNA. They're not changing professional wrestling, though.
Right. I agree to a certain point that like they don't let the character go. But the reason why The Undertaker is The Undertaker is because the guy that you made The Undertaker took an idea and went to 11 with it. The reason why Stone Cold Steve Austin becomes Stone Cold Steve Austin is because he ratcheted it up. Like, not just anyone could have been Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not just anyone could be The Undertaker. So it's hard to say, like, of these super talented people that we're seeing in the WWE, who the WWE is missing with, because at this point they were the only game in town, so they had the pick of the litter as the top of anyone. Like, case in point, they're about to get the Rascals.
Yeah.
Like, they're top of the top.
Absolutely. No questions asked.
So how many people are they going to miss on that are upper tier in the scheme of the entirety of professional wrestling? How many really great guys never became really great because everyone's great? If everyone is special, no one is special. We've said it before.
Just look at Drew McIntyre.
Drew had to leave,
right,
and make himself better,
right,
overseas and at Impact, to even get the look to come back.
Right. Same with Jinder. I mean, we've seen WWE like correct their mistakes, but I mean, still, like, you had them in the 3-man band for how long, and just didn't like give these guys the push. So I mean, and now if you're just, it also opens the door of, if someone's unhappy, they have a quick out to their contract. Apparently, they can just start a Twitch and they're like go the next day.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, you're gone.
And like,
take 3 months off.
And I understand that there's only one ball. Like, WWE can only, like, just in any sport, like, there's only one ball. Not everybody gets to shoot. Yeah. And when you're talking about, like, scoring the most or getting the most eyes, you put it in your hot hand. Like, that's who gets the ball. And sometimes you don't want to take the chance on the flashy receiver or the streaky shooter in the corner. Like, sometimes you run an isolation play and you get somebody, or you hand the ball off to the sure-handed running back who doesn't drop the ball. Like, that's what it is. And I think now, with so many other options in play, with the ability to make money on the indies and not even be with a company, with Japan being a viable option, ROH, Impact, AEW, whenever MLW, the NWA, whenever they get back on their feet, like, that's where we go.
Yeah, and I mean, I think their shows did relaunch this week, and yeah, I mean, it's you know, and I also think, and this is a topic that I mean, over the coming weeks and months, obviously, as a new political administration, you know, comes in January. You know, there's a person that has been very outspoken, Andrew Yang, that has been talking about trying to, you know, change the WWE and the way that things are run. This is what I'll say. And I'm not saying that the WWE is perfect and that everything that they're doing is right or moral or what have you. But the thing I will say in terms of the, you know, the idea of a union or changing the WWE is, you know, the whatever you do to the WWE, especially if you're talking about the word union, is going to have a ripple effect through the rest of the entire industry. And for the WWE, maybe AEW, couple of dogs at the top of the industry, then things may be better. But the ripple effect down through the indies may not be exactly as good as you want to be. I'm not an expert on unions or unionization or anything like that.
I think this should be our launch point for the recorded episode on Thursday.
Yeah,
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I think that's great. So let's kind of put pause on it, and we will
like that.
We will revisit this, and we'll obviously touch on some other things. We'll do some other fun stuff as well. But yeah, let's dig into this a little bit more and talk about this a little bit more on our recording next week. The episode, like I said, will drop on Thursday next week on Thanksgiving. But I think that's a great point, Ryan, because it is getting later.
This is a rabbit hole conversation.
Absolutely. So let's do that. Let's go around the room and get any plugs and things like that. Ryan, we'll start with you because you were smart enough to stop us, and we'll reorganize next week.
It wasn't a need to stop. I haven't taken a piss in like 4 hours and I got to go real bad. It's RYN Eagle if you want to follow me. I am
dark.
What was that?
Pants. Wear the dark pants.
Now I'm wearing swishy shorts, and they would be leaky as shit. So we're gonna skip over that. I'll let somebody else talk about the Pro Wrestling Empire because wild episode this week. RYN Eagle on Twitter. I bitch about political stuff still. I just can't wait to tweet about things that are just stupid again. So hopefully soon.
All right, Tim, we'll go to you next.
Let's talk about Pro Wrestling Empire. We have a new PWE World Champion. Is it Joe Keys? Is it Laszlo the Hun? You can find out on the PWE YouTube channel. I, along with Matt and Mark, had the privilege, the honor of calling the championship tournament final. Very fantastic episode. You can find it anywhere. We're sharing it on our social medias. You can find it on the PWE Facebook page and search for Pro Wrestling Empire on YouTube. It really just automatically pops up. For me, at Not the Toolman across all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, if you care. Also on Twitch, sometimes, not as often anymore. Kind of got disenfranchised with it, trying to figure something new out. Speaking of new, do you like your wrestling old? Retro style. Final Wrestling Place, wherever you get your podcast, wherever you get this podcast, you can get Final Wrestling Place. Season 14 we are jumping the broom this season. We are covering in 4 episodes, 8 wrestling weddings. And we're putting them in either the good place or the bad place. Guaranteed to be talked about in a live watch-along version. The wedding of Teddy Long and Crystal Marshall. Guaranteed watch-along episode. We can't wait. So Final Wrestling Place, at Final Place Pod on Twitter. Our episodes drop every Monday at midnight.
All right, intern Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Well, hi there. Hey, I'll just plug PWE as well real quick. Check them out, Pro Wrestling Empire on YouTube. I think this latest episode was probably the best so far for the PWE World Championship. So check it out, give it a like, give it a follow. And real quick, I just want to say the Sea Stars are really going to make some waves in tag team wrestling. So get ready, folks.
Matt, was there a Woman of the Week this week? I didn't think there was.
I swear eventually we'll get another one up there. Probably not next week either since it's Thanksgiving. But I will be active on there. We usually do the wrestlers we're thankful for, so we'll at least do that feature next week and then probably kick off Woman of the Week after that. You can follow me on Twitter. It's at 3CT, the letter A, Philly as in Philadelphia, the number 8. So 3CT affiliate. No Notre Dame this weekend, so I'll be relatively low-key, probably just complaining about politics, tweeting about the Sixers and
the Eagles play.
Stuff. They sure do.
Sure. Well, they at least a group of players wearing Eagles jerseys make it onto a field.
There will be a team that is called the Eagles that does something related to football on Sunday. Relatively low key about that moving forward now that Notre Dame's like actually doing well. So,
there you go.
But yep, follow me on Twitter. I usually am interactive if you tweet at me.
All right, and you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Make sure you're following along with the show at 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Amazon, Spotify. If you are subscribed on Apple, make sure you give us a rate and review. We prefer 5 stars, not only in Japan. But make sure you go to 3countthursday.com, check out our home network, NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. And, of course, the sponsor of this show, Arena Eats, which we'll hear from them as we go off the air. Like I said, we will drop an episode next week. It'll be pre-recorded. We will not be live next Thursday night. So make sure you're subscribed and following us on social media. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, wear your goddamn masks, and go for the pin. Recount Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?